accessibility. So if you do have one on right now, if you could just put it in your lap, please. You will be allowed to wear it again when it's time to go. Welcome staff, students, and guests. Today we gather to honor and remember the brave individuals who served and sacrificed in times of war and peace. Remembrance Day is not only a time to reflect on history, but also to recognize the resilience and hope that lives in our communities. You are reminded that this is a solemn occasion and to please refrain from any applause. Please remain silent as the cadets carry the Canadian flag into the gym.
Flag party, attention! Flag party, carry forward. Flag party, by the quick march. Left wheel. Left wheel. March line. Halt. Left party, hold through. Left party, order arms. Left party, as equal.
I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Katzie, Kwantlen, and Semiahmoo First Nations. We recognize their stewardship of these territories since time immemorial. We are privileged to live in Canada, a country that has long worked to promote peace among nations. As we pause in reflection today, we promise to honor and remember those that lost their lives in the tragedies of war. Their sacrifices remind us of the cost of peace and the value of freedom. Now it is my pleasure to introduce your MCs for today's ceremony. Mason Dangu, Avani Kane, Avana McDonough, and Maxwell Rowley.
Good morning. We are honored to be MCs for today's Remembrance Day presentation. Remembrance Day began after World War I when the armistice was signed on November 11, 1918. Since then, we wear poppies and observe a moment of silence to remember those who gave their lives. We remember not to glorify war, but to honor peace and the cost of freedom.
Bonjour, nous sommes honorés d'être les maîtresses de cérémonie de la présentation du jour de souvenir d'aujourd'hui. Le jour de souvenir a commencé après la Première Guerre mondiale, lorsque l'armistice a été signé le 11 novembre 1918. Depuis, nous portons les coquelicots et observons une minute de silence pour honorer la mémoire de ceux qui ont donné leur vie. Nous nous souvenons, non pas pour glorifier la guerre, mais pour honorer la paix et la prix de la liberté.
Through many wars and conflicts, Canadians have made unimaginable sacrifices, leaving behind their families, homes, and dreams to protect the freedoms that make our country what it is today. Their courage and selflessness allow us, the generations yet to come, to live in peace.
Au cours de nombreuses guerres et nombreux conflits, de courageux Canadiens ont fait des sacrifices inimaginables, laissant de côté leur famille, leur foyer et leurs rêves pour protéger les valeurs et les libertés qui font de notre pays ce qu'il est aujourd'hui. Leur courage et leur altruisme nous permettent à nous, les générations futures, de vivre en paix.
More than 2.3 million Canadians have served our country in uniform. More than 120,000 of them have lost their lives. Their names are recorded in Canada's 8 books of remembrance on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, and memory is honored at cenotaphs and memorials during ceremonies across the country. The poppy that we wear is symbolical of remembrance and a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope can live.
Plus de 2,3 millions de Canadiens ont servi notre pays en uniforme. Plus que 120 000 d'entre eux ont perdu la vie. Leurs noms sont inscrits dans les 8 livres de souvenirs du Canada, sur la colline du Parlement à Ottawa. Nous honorons leur mémoire et leur héritage dans des cénotaphes et des monuments commémoratifs, ainsi que lors des cérémonies organisées partout au Canada. Le coquelicot que nous portons symbolise le souvenir et nous rappelle que même dans les moments les plus sombres, l'espoir peut fleurir.
Today, as we acknowledge the lives that fought for our country, let us not forget the Indigenous people who fought for Canada. We are grateful for their sacrifices and we honor their service.
En ce jour où nous rendons hommage à tous ceux qui ont donné leur vie pour notre pays, n'oublions pas les peuples autochtones qui se sont battus pour le Canada. Nous leur sommes reconnaissants pour leur sacrifice et nous rendons hommage à leur service. Please rise for the singing of O Canada, performed by the Salish Choir.
A distinguished member of our community who served in the Royal Canadian Navy for 30 years, retiring with the rank of Chief Petty Officer 2nd Class. Since retiring, Mr. LaHoo has continued to serve through his role as Sergeant-at-Arms for the Cloverdale branch of the Royal Canadian Legion. Mr. LaHoo also builds intricate scale models of the ships he served on, a therapeutic and deeply meaningful way to honor his past and cope with the lasting effects of service. Following that, please turn your attention to the screen to watch a presentation created by Mr. de Guzman and Mr. Mahalik Grade 9 Circle of Courage class to the song Soldier's Cry by Roland Maggio.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. It's hard to see everyone because the light is pretty bright, but I know it's a full-packed house. And I am honored, and I'm also blessed to be here to talk to you this afternoon. And so basically what I want to do today is tell you a little bit about my military career and what brought me to join the military. Well, as you can see, some of these, the first picture you saw was me at 19 years old. And as you can see, I was a pretty good-looking man then, but anyways, so the years went by. Now, at 19 years old, on my 19th birthday, I decided to go to Quebec City and go to the recruitment center and join. And what brought me to that decision, What brought me to that decision was that I did not have any plans yet on what I would do in my life. So I searched and searched, and then I came up to the solution that if I joined the military, they will teach me a trade. I will be, and since I was adventurous type of person, I would be traveling the world and learn a trade and also serve my country and promote our beliefs and values throughout the world so that the world could stay in peace, because here we are living in peace. And we have our freedoms. We can live with our beliefs and values as Canadians. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my forefathers and mothers who fought for us. And one time came my turn for 30 years. And I'm so proud and honored to have done that. And I strongly recommend, if some of you want to represent your country, be proud of what you do, and help others, there's a good place to go. So, when I joined, after I joined 19, I went to boot camp in Saint-Jean, Quebec, in the winter. It was very difficult. And after that, I went to my English school because when I joined the Navy, I could not speak a word in English. And I still can't today. So for those of you who want to hang around after the speech, I will give you the version in English. So anyhow, after I joined, I learned my trade, and I joined as a hull technician, which is basically like a millwright in the mills. But my job was to make sure that the ship stays afloat, make sure that the plumbing systems would be working, and I learned how to weld, I learned how to do woodworking, air conditioning, and all these trades. So I was basically a jack of all, but a master of none. But 30 years after, during that time, I would say, I've traveled the world, and we were chasing Russian submarines across the world. That was our job. And after 30 years of that, I decided to retire with a good pension, with all the benefits, and I'm very, very grateful for the government for providing me with these benefits. So, now what did I do after that? I decided to build my ship's models. I decided to build all the ships that I served on. And there's a story attached to that, to all of the ships that I've sailed on. And if you're curious and you want to go and take a look, last year, all my ships were actually applied to the competition for the Community Treasures exhibit in Surrey, and I won the contest. So if you want to go and see the ships, if you want to go and see my military career, and it's all laid out, please go to the museum in Surrey, and you'll be able to have a good perception of what I've done in my career. Having said that, I wish you all a good day, and thank you very much for listening, and thank you for having me here. And again, I'm honored and pleased to be here. Thank you.
It's sent through the country, and we need an army to fight for the right. Young men enlist and are sent to the battle to fight the offender and help our allies. And the young men cry, "Oh Canada, we'll gladly go and fight for thee." And the young men cry, "Oh Canada, we'll fight to keep you free." soldier cries, oh Canada, be true and strong for me.
It is with great pride that we introduce Miyu Duguyu, the winner of Salish's Remembrance Day Poetry Contest. Miyu's poem, We Remember, Not Resent, invites us to remember the humanity behind the history and to carry forward the lessons of sacrifice with empathy and hope. Following that, Jacob Bissonnette and Gernur Jandra will honor the diverse contribution to Canada's military.
Hello, I wrote this poem to reflect and honor the meaning of Remembrance Day. On fields once torn by fire and steel, where silence blooms, the earth can heal. The poppies rise, a crimson tide, for those who fought, for those who died. Their names are carved in stone and sky, in whispered winds that still ask, why? They marched for kin, for cause, for land. Some never grasped for his trembling hand. Yet now, beneath the quiet rain, we mourn not just their death, but pain. Not just for sides, not flags unfurled, but for the weight they bore for the world. And in the hush, a thought remains. Beyond the scars, beyond the chains, that once, like us, they cried and dreamed, no less human on either side. We have no enemies, the veterans said, not even those our ancestors bled, for hate is born where fear is fed, and peace begins when love is led. So on this day, we don't just grieve, we vow to build, to plant, to weave, a future shaped by joined hands, not sharpened blades or broken lands. Let memory guide us, fierce and true, through fields of loss and skies of blue. They died to give the world a voice. Let peace, not war, become our choice.
Military legacy is a tapestry woven from the resilience of a diverse population. Today we honor the courageous service of Chinese, Black, Sikh, and Indigenous Canadians who have served our country. These communities have an enduring impact and offer a glimpse into the diverse population that have stood united in defense of our nation.
While we highlight a few voices today, we recognize there are many cultural communities that shaped our shared history. From Italian and Caribbean Canadians to Japanese and Muslim Canadians, every contribution and active service deserves a promise to remember.
Imagine volunteering to fight for a country that denied
Equal citizenship. That was the reality of Chinese Canadians during World War II. Despite facing discrimination, they stepped forward, determined to serve.
Many served in secret missions with Force 136, a secret allied unit tasked with guerrilla warfare and intelligence operations in Southeast Asia. Their sacrifices helped lead the repeal to the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1947 and earned them long overdue recognition.
There are not many World War II stories that ended up advancing the civil rights of an entire community. But Force 136, a relatively unknown part of military history, helped change the lives of every Chinese Canadian. Force 136 was a branch of the British Special Operations Executive during World War II. Comprised of mostly Southeast Asians and about 150 Chinese Canadians, its goal was to do what white soldiers couldn't: infiltrate Japanese-held territories in Southeast Asia. Force 136 was assigned some of the deadliest missions of the war. In fact, it was considered a suicide mission. So in 1945, when the Japanese surrendered, many of the men in Force 136 were left to their own devices to find a way back to Canada. As they were not officially Canadian soldiers and weren't expected to return alive, no plan had been put in place to get them home. Those who did make it back to Canada were still treated as second-class citizens. But these Chinese Canadian men pushed for their rights to become full citizens, which included the right to vote. And 2 years after the war ended, Chinese residents in Canada were offered full citizenship and equal rights. Today and every day, we thank and honor the Chinese Canadian men of Force 136 who helped pave the way for Chinese Canadians.
Just as Chinese Canadians fought for recognition and justice, so did Black Canadians. In World War I, over 600 Black men joined the No. 2 Construction Battalion, the only all-Black unit in Canadian military history. Denied combat roles, they endured grueling conditions.
From William Hall, the first Black Canadian to receive the Victoria Cross, to Dr. Stephen Blizzard, who broke barriers in military medicine. Their stories are a testament to strength in the face of adversity. We honor not only their service, but also their struggle for equality.
No. 2 Construction Battalion was an all-Black battalion in Canadian military history. Driven by the desire to participate in the First World War, young Black Canadians pressured the government for the right to serve their king and country. However, strong racist sentiments held by many Canadians, government officials, and agencies made it difficult to enlist. After more than 2 years of pressure from Black communities across Canada, the government authorized the formation of No. 2 Construction Battalion. Over 600 Black men served a country that would not publicly recognize their contribution until over 60 years later.
On July 9, 2022, the Government of Canada delivered an apology to the men of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, their communities and descendants, as well as introduced efforts aimed at preserving their memory and the identity of the unit through perpetuation.
Sikh Canadians have a proud legacy of military service deeply rooted in the value of selfless sacrifice. Their contributions to peacekeeping missions and global operations span centuries, reflecting a long-standing commitment to service and justice.
Private Buckham Singh, who served in World War I, was once a forgotten figure in Canadian history. His rediscovered story, along with those of the other Sikh soldiers, remind us that the call to serve knows no borders.
Of the many names of soldiers listed in the military section of this cemetery, one stands out. Private Buckham Singh, born in Mulipur, Punjab in India, fought for Canada in the First World War, forgotten for 90 years until this victory medal with his name on it turned up in an English pawn shop that Canadian historian Sandeep Singh Brar happened to visit.
I was amazed to see it also said 20th Canadian Infantry. I was like, wow, how can that be? There's no Sikhs in the Canadian Army at that time.
Brar knew only about the thousands of Sikh soldiers from India fighting for Britain in the Great War. There are plenty of photos of them, but not one of the handful of Sikh soldiers Brar learned had fought in Canadian regiments. He traced the name on the medal to the tombstone in Kitchener. People from the local Sikh community are awed by it.
I was really inspired to hear that Private Buckham Singh's gravesite was down here in Kitchener-Waterloo, literally in our backyard.
Brar's research didn't stop at this cemetery. He also discovered Singh came to Canada from Punjab as a 14-year-old in 1907. He signed up with the 20th Canadian Infantry in 1914. He was injured twice on the battlefields of France. He came home, and while recovering from his injuries in a Canadian military hospital, Singh died of tuberculosis in 1919. Now he is honored in a special ceremony every year around Remembrance Day.
You don't feel that you're now an outsider studying someone else's history. Now Canadian history becomes our history.
Now knowing the story of Buckham Singh and also seeing many other veterans from our community come together, it just makes Remembrance Day all the more inclusive and really reflects the diversity of Canada.
More than 4,000 Indigenous people served in World War I. On the battlefield, they were known for their exceptional skills as snipers and scouts, playing a vital role in military operations.
But when they returned home, they were not met with gratitude, but with exclusion from veterans, benefits, and continued discrimination. Today, their legacy inspires a deeper understanding of courage in the fight for justice and recognition.
Today, November 8th, Canadians proudly mark Indigenous Veterans Day. It is a day to commemorate the unique contributions and sacrifices that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples have made serving in the Canadian Armed Forces. From the First World War to the Korean War, and still very much today, Indigenous peoples have volunteered their diverse talents and skills, with more than 12,000 Indigenous women and men answering the call of duty to serve Canada with pride and honor. Even though they donned the same uniforms as their comrades in arms and upheld the same oath to defend Canada, at home they were denied the very rights and freedom they fought to protect. So as we remember their courage and determination during the world's darkest hours, all Canadians should recognize the barriers like racism they overcame just so they could enlist. Many of them served on the front line, and many of them never returned home. We honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice to defend the freedom we all enjoy. And we must do better to learn their stories. Stories like that of Private Thomas Gauthier, a member of the Anishinaabe First Nation who fought valiantly and died at Sydney Road. Or that Indigenous veterans like Mary Greyeye, who broke down barriers in the Canadian Armed Forces. Or of Tommy Prince and his legendary bravery. But there are many others whose stories are not as well known. For over a century, thousands of Indigenous people have stepped up and contributed their unique skills to the Canadian Armed Forces.
Upon reflection, Canada's strength lies in unity. Each soldier, regardless of race, faith, or origin, stood for something greater than themselves. Remembrance is not a singular act, but a lifelong promise to listen, learn, and ensure that every voice is heard.
From coast to coast, Canadians of all backgrounds continue to serve in our military and peacekeeping missions. We promise to keep their stories alive and carry their legacy forward. Next presenter, we would like to recognize Adia Chauhan, whose poem was honorably mentioned in this year's Salish Remembrance Day Poetry Contest. Adia's work stood out for its thoughtful reflection on the meaning of remembrance.
This poem is called We Will Remember You Tomorrow. The 11th of November brings a heavy story to remember. One of pain and bloodshed, strength and courage, writing songs and performing, we pass them down to pay homage. In shared pride and belief, a blood-red poppy with a center of greed rests over each Canadian's heart, although departed, never apart. For you have thrown your torch to us throughout time sands. We've caught it redly, with steady hands. Rest easy, your legacy will not be forgotten, nor will the sacrifice of memories become fuzzy like cotton. Although I've come from far away, I've settled here, living and learning on this land in which you lay. This land you fought to protect, a land of peace, where many homes and families connect. Those who come seeking refuge, or simply a better life, are met with equal rights and little strife. And for that, I honor and respect you, with a gratitude that has only grew. A moment of silence every 11th November is not to be dismissed, for without you, this oasis would not exist. Young boys you were, young boys who are heroes, young boys who want to steal their hearts out there, who have granted us all many bright tomorrows.
The power of music to heal is at the heart of today's presentation. The senior jazz band, combo band, Nero, will now share their rendition of Star Maker, a tribute to introspection and quiet strength.
Le pouvoir thérapeutique de la musique est au cœur de la présentation d'aujourd'hui. Le groupe de jazz senior Nero va maintenant interpréter Star Maker, une pièce expressive et contemplative qui résonne profondément avec l'esprit du jour du souvenir.
We would like to take this moment to now reflect on the personal connections to the entire school community to the legacy of service by paying tribute to the veterans and the families of our Salish staff.
The act of remembrance honors those who have given their lives in service to our country. I would like to ask Mr. Lehoux to come forward to read the act of remembrance. At the end, it is customary for all present to repeat the last line by responding with, "We will remember them."
They shall not grow old, as we that are not to grow. Age shall not weary them, nor the years come them. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
The laying of the wreaths ritual dates to ancient times when the wreaths were used to honor heroes and mourn the dead. It is a tribute to those who stood in the face of adversity and answered the call of duty.
Le rituel de dépôt de gerbes remonte à l'Antiquité, où les couronnes étaient utilisées pour honorer les héros et pleureurs les morts. Il s'agit d'un hommage à ceux qui ont fait face à l'adversité et ont répondu à l'appel du devoir. À nos anciens combattants et à ceux qui servent encore aujourd'hui, nous disons merci. Votre service a façonné notre nation et votre héritage perdure dans notre histoire commune.
Following that, Kaylee McDonald will read the commitment to remember. It is a promise read by youth to always remember the sacrifices of those who served. At the end, we will ask that all present repeat the last line by responding with, "We will remember them."
Ensuite, Kaylee McDonald lira l'engagement à se souvenir. L'engagement à se souvenir est une promesse lue par les jeunes de toujours se souvenir des sacrifices consignés par ceux qui ont servi le Canada afin de créer des communautés sécuritaires. À la fin, on demande à toutes les personnes présentes de répéter la dernière ligne en répondant "We will remember." We now invite our honored guest, Mr. Liu, Mr. Duff, Anad Sharma, Bronwyn Edwards, Miss Larson, and Ryan Allen. We now come forward to lay the wreaths.
They were young as we are young. They served, giving freely of themselves. To them we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry their torch and never forget. We will remember them. We will remember them.
The last post is a bugle call that historically marked the end of the day in military camps, letting soldiers know they could rest safely. Today, it calls us to pause and reflect, honoring those who have died in service to their country. Following the last post, we observe 2 minutes of silence to remember the fallen, their sacrifices, and the peace they helped secure. After the silence, the rouse is played, originally used to wake soldiers at dawn. The rouse now symbolically awakens the fallen, guiding them to eternal rest and peace. Ava McDonough will play the last post and rouse. Following that, the Salish choir, accompanied by Nero, will perform You Will Be Found. As we reflect, we also acknowledge that many who served may have felt alone in their struggles. This song reminds us that even in moments of darkness, there is hope and connection.
La dernière sonnerie est un appel solennel au clairon qui marquait autrefois la fin de la journée dans le camp militaire, indiquant aux soldats qu'ils pouvaient se reposer en toute sécurité. Après la dernière sonnerie, nous observons 2 minutes de silence. Nous nous tenons debout en silence pour nous souvenir des soldats tombés au combat, de leur sacrifice et de la paix qu'ils ont contribué à garantir. Après le silence, la sonnerie de l'aube est jouée. Utilisée à l'origine pour réveiller les soldats à l'aube, la sonnerie de l'aube réveille désormais symboliquement les soldats tombés au combat, les guidant vers le repos et la paix éternelle. Ava McDonough jouera la dernière sonnerie et la sonnerie de l'aube. Ensuite, la chorale Salish, accompagnée par Nero, interprétera You Will Be Found. Please stand now for the last post, 2 minutes of silence and rouse.
Very good. Stay right there. Stand here.
reflect to the close of our Remembrance Day Assembly, we thank you for taking this time to reflect, remember, and honor those who have served and sacrificed. Let us carry forward the spirit of remembrance by choosing kindness, standing up for justice, and working toward peace in our own lives and communities.
Alors que notre assemblée du jour de souvenir termine, nous vous remercions d'avoir pris le temps de réfléchir, de vous souvenir et d'honorer ceux qui ont servi et se sont sacrifiés. Continuons à perpétuer l'esprit de souvenir en choisissant la gentillesse, en défendant la justice et en œuvrant pour la paix dans notre vie et nos communautés. Nous exprimons notre profonde gratitude à tous ceux qui ont contribué à l'Assemblée d'aujourd'hui, en particulier à notre invité d'honneur, Monsieur Liu, ancien combattant, et à ceux qui continuent de servir notre pays.
We extend our deepest gratitude to all who contributed to today's assembly, especially our honored guest veteran, Mr. Liu, and to those who continue to serve our country. Please remain seated until the cadets exit the gym. Please be respectful as you exit the gym.
Thank you. I feel a great sense of gratitude for the community that we get to come be a part of every day, and for everything that everyone has done to put this on. Just a reminder that until you actually exited the gym, that we will remain with the somber tone that was set from the moment that you walked in. So I'm going to ask at this moment if staff can rise, come forward to greet their class, and we will start with the bottom row standing, filing out, then the row behind can stand and file out just all the way to the top. Thank you.